Okay, today we're going to talk about change. Right now, as I'm recording this, I'm sitting in my home office watching the gray winter weather outside my windows. And I've got to be honest, I'm feeling kind of heavy, kind of lethargic, kind of gray and dull that comes with shorter days. You know that feeling? As I'm trying to think back, like, why outside of the weather and the short days and the freezing cold, why am I feeling that way? And I think the past year has been, well, a lot. I closed a business. I moved 3 times, had to sell my house, move into a rental, and then move back into a house. Started a new position in my corporate job. And, I'm in the process of watching my kids launch into adulthoods and all the fantastic things that go along with that. And these changes haven't been bad. I love my new job, and it doesn't matter if they're bad or good, it's still change. And lately, I've been telling myself something that maybe you've been telling yourself too. I'm telling myself that I'm stuck. That foggy gray feeling I have when everything else looks fine on paper, so to speak, but still I feel dull. So last night, something interesting happened. Was having dinner with a dear friend, and I was talking about this stuff. Maybe I'll call it meh feeling, just like not myself, not energetic, not productive. And it hit me. What if I'm just telling myself I'm stuck or I feel meh, and that's actually keeping me stuck? Because as you know, I talk about how our thoughts generate our feelings. So if I'm feeling stuck, meh, dull, gray, what are the thoughts I'm having? And that's what I need to look at. What if all these changes, the moves, the job transition, the change with my kids, aren't signs of being stuck at all, but actually signs that life is flowing exactly as it should be? As I looked into it, there's something fascinating that I discovered. And it's the way that we see change is often cultural, which I had really no idea, but makes sense. Here in the Western world, we really are all about stability. Get the degree, land the job, buy the house, nail down the perfect routine and future. Does that sound familiar? We treat change like it's something to overcome, power through, like it's just an obstacle between us and where we want to be. I get that. I resonate with that. I've always thought of myself as super adaptable, but even I catch myself thinking, just power through this and then everything will be fine. Like right now, just get through winter. January and February are rough, and then sunny skies and beautiful gardens come back in the spring. But what I didn't know when I researched this more in depth is that the Eastern cultures, they see it completely different. They expect change. They celebrate change. When cherry blossoms fall, they don't think, oh, what a shame. They just know that that's part of life's beautiful cycles. So something that helped me understand this further, like what actually is going on in our brains when there's change, is something called horizonlessness. Stick with me here, I promise. This is good. So if you're thinking of your brain as like a protective dam, during stressful times, like when I close my business or move for the third time, my brain is building up these emotional barriers like a dam. It's literally trying to protect me. I become in survival mode. I'm just getting through the days, making tough decisions, learning new systems, supporting everyone around me. And at some point, that dam has to break loose because it keeps getting higher and stronger. But the crazy part is when things actually start to calm down and we start to feel safe again, that's actually when that dam breaks and lets all of that water, so to speak, come flowing in. So if you're facing that feeling right now, maybe you had a money setback, maybe you lost a job or a divorce, and you've just been working hard to get through the days, make things happen. I know I experienced this when I had my divorce as well. So many things were happening, but I had to keep the kids, going to school, keep them in their activities. And so building up this kind of dam. And then at some point, it feels like things are more stable and the change has been minimized. And then you can often have this like burst of emotions, or in this case, a dam is bursting and the water comes flooding. That's kind of the analogy about the dam. The most important thing to know when you start being flooded with these emotions, whether they, in my case, is like just dull, where's the joy, happiness, usual feelings that you feel when it seems like that is gone. It's not that we're broken. It's just the brain is kind of recalibrating. So instead of thinking something's wrong with me, what's up with me, which is what I was thinking. I'm like, what? I'm in a funk. What's going on? I should be excited because the hard part, closing the business, moving, that part is over. And now I don't have all of that change going on. And so what I'm trying to do is kind of release all that, let the dam break and let it all go. And now I can celebrate this feeling of not having as much change. But this thing about winter is actually true. And so let's talk about what's happening in our bodies during winter, because it adds another layer to this. When I look outside and I see gray skies, it's not just in my head. Science shows that 20% of us really feel these seasonal shifts. About 5% of people feel them severely. And then 15% or more, it's more mild. But nonetheless, it's truly a phenomenon. And I forget what it's called, but when the seasons shift and winter, shorter days, grayer skies really does affect many of our bodies and many of our brains. What I've learned as I research this is there's some simple things we can do. We can get morning light. It is like magic for your brain. If you can somehow get out into the morning light for 10 minutes, that will shift your entire day. And I've been doing that and it helps. If it's cloudier and gray, you need to stay out in the morning light a little bit longer. The other thing I've been trying to do is to be curious about what I'm feeling and accepting it, kind of like it's okay to be in what I'm calling a funk or what I'm calling stuck. Life is 50-50. It is not always good. There are things that happen and that's good. And we want that because if life was always roses and sunshine and no contrast, we wouldn't appreciate all of those great times. We have to have the negative or bad times so that we can really know and be joyful and love those really great times. When you're being curious about what's going on, you are less likely to be fighting it. If you're going through, let's say, a money setback of some sort, being curious about your feelings instead of resisting what's going on, kind of accepting the change, something has happened and change is happening, then that can kind of help you release the dam and get unstuck. Instead of telling myself, snap out of this, I'm trying to ask myself questions like, what's actually changed in my life right now? And what's really challenging about that, because those things that I mentioned, closing my business, moving, those are in the past. And I'm holding on to all of that change as and feeling all those feelings as if it's now. But actually, it isn't now. It's not challenging for me right now. So that change, I'm just reacting to change in the past, and I can let that go. The third question that's really helpful is what possibilities might that change open up for me? And there have been so many. And I've talked about them before, starting my side hustle and helping people work through their money setbacks. All of the things that I have learned about business, about opening, starting, closing a business, about mindset. I've been studying mindset for probably 25 years, but putting it into practice with my own challenges has really helped me to help others and teach others. Obviously, finding my dream house on the golf course and being able to move into that, all kinds of things where this change that was making me so stressed out and build up my walls of my dam are actually opened up possibilities. And when you think of it that way, then those thoughts are not making you feel stuck. They're making you feel kind of open. Okay, I'll share another story that changed how I was thinking about being stuck. Okay, so it's about two twins, and these two twins grew up in the same house. They were in very low income families, very struggling when they grew up, and they both grew up with the same alcoholic father. And then life split them apart, and they went to different foster homes. Years later, their lives looked completely different. One twin ended up in and out of, and the other twin had a successful career, loving father, a life that he was proud of. Here's the part that kind of gives me chills. When they were interviewed together, they were both asked, "Why did your life turn out this way?" And they both gave the exact same answer. With a father like mine, I had no other. Same story, same words, completely different meaning. This is why I get so excited talking about feeling stuck, because just like these twins, we all have the incredible power, the power of perspective. Whether we're dealing with the winter blues, the transitions of life, challenges in business, a money setback, whatever it might be, we get to choose how we see our story. I get to choose if I feel meh, stuck, blah. And sometimes you want to feel that way. Sometimes you're like, things are tough and I just feel like I'm okay feeling meh. And that's fine too. Or you can say, I want to feel joyful. And what kind of thoughts do I need to create to feel joyful? And this whole conversation started with the idea that change produces some of these stuck feelings. What if we adopted more of this Easter view about change is inevitable? Change is part of life. Change is okay. Oftentimes, change is good. How we think about change, the thoughts we have about change can help create different feelings. Change often makes people just feel uncertain, scared, fearful, but change could be exciting. Time for growth, time to try something new. Henry Ford has a quote, whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. In other words, what we think is what is going to happen, self-fulfilling prophecy. So my friend, I'm curious, what transitions are you navigating right now? What's your story and how might you see it differently? Share with me in the comments below. Let's support each other through change. And remember, feeling stuck, feelings are obstacles to overcome. They're invitations to be curious and grow in ways that we never expected. And also remember, behind the gray skies up there is the sun, and it's going to shine again. The gray skies will part and the sun will be coming down again. So, friend, there you have it. I hope that you maybe have a different view on change and what thoughts and feelings change can have in your life. I hope these insights help you see that, again, you hold the power with that beautiful brain of yours so you can decide if you're stuck or not stuck by being curious. It's just a simple tool that we all have that can help us. If you found this valuable, please consider subscribing, leave a rating or review. And I'd love to engage in the comments. I'd love to hear your ideas. And until next time, remember, you have the power to change your financial future, and I'm cheering you on every step of the way.